Okay, so this is going to be a new type of video. Uh, but I guess this is kind of almost a podcast that I'll start doing, when I have like a lot of topics that I don't want to make a full video essay-esque video for, my deep thoughts with Ratman stuff. When I have like a lot of things I want to talk about, but they're not things that I feel like I could make a full video about. I guess I'll just like do these sort of podcast esque things. I can also use these to talk about my channel. But yeah, I have a video that I've recorded the script. I wrote out the script. It's like almost 2 full pages on Google Docs at 11 font size. But it was about like video games and what makes them good and whatnot. And that I had enough to say about for a whole video. I could have wrote more, but I don't like to make long form video essays. If I make a video essay, I tend to make it pretty short. To be fair, I would say most of whenever I edit videos, I tend to make them pretty short. The only things that I don't really shorten that much is like my gameplay videos. I pretty much only cut out the dead silence. That's the only stuff I ever cut out from those videos is dead silence unless something is going on. But like with my quantum entanglement video, that one's 2 minutes. I wrote a whole script for that. This one probably going to be maybe 5 minutes, maybe not. But yeah, most of my Ratman deep thoughts with Ratman videos tend to be pretty short in like the 2 to 5 minute range. Let's see, I can open up my playlist for it and see. Yeah, 3 minutes, and then that one's unlisted at 4 minutes. This one was almost 7 minutes, actually. Nice. Uh, that one was 22, but that one's unlisted, and that was not exactly an edited one. Same with the Shad Base one, that is also unlisted. And then my most recent one, the George Washington one, was another one that was unedited, but that one was also less than 7 minutes. So, but yeah, I mean, my main reason is laziness. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to write a whole dissertation for these videos. I don't want to spend a month editing one 30-minute or hour long video essay video because that's just a bit much. I don't have time for that shit. I barely upload as is. Speaking of, I know that I have not finished uploading the Stranger They Are. I think, let me see. I believe there's probably only a little bit left for that one. I think we're around I think we're around video number 3 maybe, and I have 7. Uh we have a while to go. Let me actually check. I can open up the oh god, what is the program? I haven't edited videos in so long. I forgot what the program is even called. That's right. I've been using DaVinci Resolve because fuck Adobe. How much is DaVinci? DaVinci. DaVinci Resolve. Let's see. I want to know how much it is so I can think about buying it. As far as I know, it's holy shit. I was gonna say, as far as I know, it's DaVinci Resolve or Blackmagic Design is a better company. Maybe. I'm not really sure about that. Is it a one-time purchase? I assume it's a one-time purchase, which makes it better than Adobe, but $295, that is not happening until I get my car fixed, because that is way too much fucking money. Anyways, let's open up stranger they are. Let me check on this. This isn't even what I was going to talk about. I was going to talk about some other shit, but right now I just want to look at this since I haven't opened up this project in like 2 or 3 months, dude. When was the last upload for that? May 29th. And I edited it since then. So probably like around June is when I last opened this up because I've just been busy doing a bunch of shit, man. For those who don't know, the job that I do outside of YouTube, since I don't make any money off of YouTube or streaming for that matter, um, yeah, we're only on video number 2 and we're only like halfway through that maybe. And that's a strong maybe. Can you fuck off? Okay, we're a little less than halfway through video number 2. So we still have quite a while to go before we're done with that series. That one's going to be really long. And then the biggest issue is the fact that I then have Survivors, which is only 2 videos, and then Castaway, which is not finished yet. I actually still need to finish playing through that one. And that one's at 5 right now. It's probably going to reach close to 10 with how long it is. And my recording sessions tend to be pretty long. Like each video, this one, let's see, this one is about, does not say. Let's open it up and find out. 1 hour and 31 minutes. Okay, yeah. My recording sessions tend to be around 1 to 2 hours. For the Outer Wilds story mods. Obviously, it depends on how long the story mod actually is. So Castaways is supposed to be, I think, like 10 hours. It's one of the longest story mods. Speaking of, I've not checked the Outer Wilds mod manager in a bit. It's probably some more story mods. I think there was a mod. I think there was a jam recently, an Outer Wilds mod jam. They hold those fairly frequently, like every couple of months, and they tend to be pretty good. You know, like a lot of the really good stuff comes out of it. We have the Cosmic Curators. That's a new one. We have Core Collapse. That's a new one. Let's see. Let's click on story. We have Helio Study. We have the Hearthian Parable. I don't know if I'm going to download that one. I'll think about it. Lore of No My Named Ping. Explore why there are modding jams in the Outer Wilds universe. Okay. The mystery. I cannot find my cat. I can't find my cat. Oh, God. Explore the ruins of a forgotten No My... That sounds cool. A barren world carries the seeds of rebirth. Okay. I'll check that one out. Catastrophe. There's no description. I'm getting it. The mystery of the missing cake. The cake was a lie. Okay. Anyways, I'm just downloading a couple mods and updating some other ones right now. Okay, so with that out of the way, back to what I actually wanted to talk about. First off, I've been watching. I fell down the rabbit hole of like Batman comic recaps recently, and I recently watched the first. This is the first ever animated Batman movie I've watched, which was The Dark Knight Returns Part 1 and 2. And then after that, I was all like, damn, these are pretty fucking good. So I decided to check out some other ones. And yeah, I just started watching Under the Red Hood, which I know is like considered one of the best. And I'm looking forward to it. But watching it got me thinking. You want to know a joke the Joker has never done before? At least from what I know. Faking his own death. In multiple comics at this point, Batman's one rule of no killing has been covered. It's been covered so much. But every time it's covered in the exact same way, where it's one of his villains, usually the Joker, decides to do some crazy bullshit and go like, "Hey, you better kill me for this one." Namely would be Under the Red Hood, which is based off of the comic A Death in the Family, where he kills Jason Todd, who was the second Robin, I do believe. And it's interesting and all, but like that style of covering his no killing rule has been done to death. I feel like something the Joker, or for any villain for that matter, any story for Batman, one thing that it has not covered is, what if the Joker died? Not by the hands of Batman. What if he just died? It would be really interesting to see how Batman would deal with the fact that Gotham is like way better off now. To be fair, The Dark Knight Returns does have the Joker kill himself by snapping his own neck, but that never actually comes close to touching the no killing rule stuff. It's just the Joker having one last laugh by going, "Yeah, they're gonna hang you for this one because now everybody thinks you're bad and evil because you killed me. Ha ha ha." Snap. And I love it. Okay, don't get me wrong. I love Under the Red Hood, aka Death in the Family. I love The Dark Knight Returns. All of those stories are really fucking good. However, it would be interesting to see Batman having to grapple with the outcome of the Joker dying to showcase to him that by not killing the Joker, he is making Gotham worse or allowing it to be in a worse state than if he were to kill the Joker. That concept has been covered before, obviously, but every time it's by the Joker doing some batshit insane stuff, like crippling Barbara Gordon, who is Batwoman. Specifically, this is the Killing Joke, which technically speaking, yes, Batman does kill Joker. Well, it's implied that he kills Joker at the end, but it's never actually said. Although the title and the last panel of the comic do indeed heavily imply Batman kills the Joker for being a sadistic son of a bitch. And he didn't just cripple Barbara, he did a bunch of other fucked up shit in that story, like torturing Jim Gordon. Because pretty much he was trying to break Jim Gordon and make Jim Gordon turn into a crazy person like the Joker, because his whole thing was, "Oh, all it takes is one bad day." And that is an awesome quote. I love The Killing Joke. It has some real good quotables, like the Joker going, "If I have a backstory, I want it to be multiple choice." That is fucking peak. However, a story where the Joker, and this is what I think it should do, I think the Joker should fake his death, you know? Make Batman truly believe the Joker is gone, and then have Batman realize, damn, Gotham is so much better off now that the Joker is gone. I wish he would have killed himself years ago, you know? And then have the Joker come back, you know? Like that would just be really interesting to see Batman go like, okay, on one hand, when he was gone, Gotham was way better off. On the other hand, I'm also a crazy son of a bitch, so if I kill the Joker, who's to say I won't turn into something like him? What's to say I won't turn into a monster who just continues to kill? Because I think a lot of people get Batman's one rule wrong. It isn't a morality thing, it is purely a I don't trust myself with the power to kill others thing, which in some ways contradicts some of his other things, such as I believe, and I might be wrong about this, but I feel like when it comes to some of his plans for if the Justice League members go insane and become evil, I think in some of his contingency plans he does indeed kill them. Although for the Green Arrow, I think he just cripples that dude. Same with the Flash. I'm pretty sure his plan of stopping the Flash is literally just break his kneecaps, which is fucking hilarious. But I'm pretty sure for Superman, he's all like, nah, we just gotta kill that motherfucker. Know what? I think I have that wrong. I think I have that wrong, actually. I know that part of his plan is Green Arrow shooting kryptonite. And so to be fair, his plan in the comics of how to stop Superman is indeed used in The Dark Knight Returns, part 2, where he has Green Arrow shoot a kryptonite arrow at Superman. But obviously, Superman's fast, so he stops the arrow before it punctures him. And he's all like, did you really think this would work? And then the arrow explodes in his face, making him breathe in kryptonite dust, which is smart, you know? But like, so yeah, I guess his no killing rule doesn't contradict anything. I don't believe any of his contingency plans involve killing any of the Justice League members. I could be wrong. I'm not a comic nerd. I'm not that much of a comic nerd, I mean. Um but yeah, I think it would be really interesting to see like Batman having to struggle with the Joker being gone through a fake suicide and going like, "Damn, Gotham's really peaceful. This is a shocker." Like think about it this way. The Joker disappears. Harley Quinn goes back to being Harley Quinzel. She's not insane anymore. You know, there's not people dying constantly because the Joker is throwing laughing gas around and shit. Um there's probably a couple other like villains that would just stop being villains because the Joker's not there anymore. Um it would be really interesting to say the least, to see something like that happen. And then for the Joker to come back, and then the city's back in a state of extreme chaos. And now the Batman, having seen a possible Gotham where the Joker doesn't exist and everything is so much better without him, having him make that choice to not kill him again would be really impactful. It's impactful to not have him kill the Joker after he kills Jason Todd, but it would be far more impactful to truly show Batman how good of a world Gotham, how good of a city Gotham would be if the Joker just fucking died. And then for the Joker to come back and go, April Fool's, bitch, you know, that would actually be hilarious. That would be such a Joker joke to do, is to die on April 1st and wait a whole year until April 1st of the next year to come back and go, I faked my death. You can't tell me that isn't something the Joker would 100% do as a joke. And I have to say, I would laugh. And I have a feeling this would be interesting. It could even like pay homage, however the fuck you want to pronounce it, um, to the Killing Joke by having Batman and the Joker both laugh at that joke. I think that would be like also a really impactful like scene that could happen. I'm not a comic book writer. I'm not much of a writer at all. As we know, I'm not very good at writing. So I wouldn't be the one to write this story because I would write it terribly. I'm not good at coming. My biggest flaw when it comes to writing, I'm good at coming up with good like concepts and good like scenes, but making a full story, and especially the thing I struggle the most with when writing a story is dialogue. So I would not be the one to write this story. I'd be a great guy to go like, okay, this is what we could do. These are like some themes, you know? These are some scenes I have in mind. but like actually writing a whole script, dialogue and the scenes and like those in between scenes where it's not the big scenes that people will remember, but the scenes that actually make a story good. That's where I struggle. But yeah, that was just a thought I had. I feel like I know there was another topic I wanted to cover, which is why I started recording this, but I don't even fucking remember what it is anymore. I guess I could talk about my AI VTuber. I haven't talked about that on this channel in like a year or something. Okay, it's been far less than a year. But yeah, I'm working on her. Uh I have a new LLM that I want to use, and I think it's good. It's a good LLM. And I think I already have it on my laptop, but I'm not too sure on that one. And then I found a new text to speech thingy that I like called Orpheus. I still need to mess around with the four different Orpheus ones I have to see which one I think is the best. But besides that, uh, I could start messing around with them, seeing how everything works. And technically, Orpheus is actually usable as an LLM as well, which is really interesting. It's a speech to text that also doubles as a mini LLM with tool usage as well. So I might mess around with it a little bit and see how that works, see how good it is at that stuff. But yeah, ignoring those things, my Vietnam first person shooter game I haven't touched in a bit. Uh, I just need to get back into it. I've just been so busy. Oh yeah, outside of like what I talk about on this channel, what I actually do to make money is I host karaoke. I'm a karaoke host at two different bars, 2 different days a week. I might make it 3 different days a week at those 2 bars, and soon it's going to be 3 bars, one that I do once a month. Although it's not going to be a bar for that third location. But yeah, I've been doing that to make money, and it pays good. I make 200 a night at one of the bars. I make 425 a month at another one. And if I take on this third bar, I'll be making anywhere from like 150 to 300 a month from that one for the one night that I do it. Um, and I say 150 to 300 because my mom is the one who actually technically runs the karaoke business of sorts. She's the one who started doing karaoke, and I've just taken over pretty much. But at the third location, she's the one who hosted it because she's the one who was in talks with the people. So she hosted it this month. So it's the first Thursday of the month is when we host at the new location. And so she's going to be helping me out the next month. So October, you know. Um, and so I was assuming that I would just split it 50-50, so it pays 300 for the one night that we do it. So I'd get 150-50, 150, I mean, she'd get 150. And I might just continue with that. I'm not really sure. It really depends. So that's why I said anywhere from 150 to 300 a month from that one, which I host 4 nights. I host every Thursday at a different bar, which I'm going to be losing money on that one because I won't be doing it for uh, the first Thursday of every month now. And so the thought process is that either my sister or my mom will host at that place when I host at the other place on those first Thursdays of the month. But yeah, I'm making at the moment, not including that third bar or uh, venue, I should say. I'm making about, what was it again? 1,225 a month, which is decent. I mean, to be fair, for the amount of work I'm doing, it's pretty damn good. But yeah. Plus I get free drinks at the two bars. I don't know if I'm going to get free drinks at the third venue, but at least I get free drinks at the other at the two bars, which the free drinks are literally any drinks. So sometimes one of the bars sucks. They don't have a good selection of beer, so I just get a fucking Corona. But I realized they actually have I think it was Zwickel is what they had. I didn't know they had that. So when I found out they had that, I was like, that shit better than Corona, bro. And that's not a diss to Corona. Okay? Corona is a fine beer. Zwickel is just better in every way. Fight me, bitch. Yes, I'm an IPA guy, all right? But yeah. Um what else? What else? What else to talk about? I don't know if there's anything. I know one thing that I need to do for this Discord reactive shit is which now that I have this set up actually, I don't think I'll be using that VTuber model I have of the rat. For those who don't know, on my Neuron the Stupid channel where I talk about my AI VTuber and whatnot and stream with her, I actually have my own rat VTuber model, which it was just a free one that was available. It's not like somebody made it for me or nothing. I'm just using it. But I'm probably going to stop using it because VTube Studio is surprisingly intensive. Running 2 instances of it is a pain in my fucking ass. That's what it is. Especially since I use a webcam for face tracking and whatnot, and that just adds to the pain of how um, CPU intensive and GPU intensive it can be. And the whole point of offloading most of the work onto my laptop is the fact that then I get to play video games on my main desktop computer while I run my AI on my laptop, which I actually have a secondary laptop, but I don't have the charger for it. Speaking of, let me look at Amazon and see how much it would cost to get a charger for it. I don't know what charger it takes though. Maybe I can search up the specific model. It's a Nitro 5. I don't know what fucking happened to the charger. Nitro AN 51554. So it's a Nitro AN 51554 charger. Let me make sure that is correct. AN 51554. That is indeed correct. There we go. Okay, I can get one for like 20 bucks. That looks right to me. I think that's the correct one. It says it's 45154. Yep, perfect. So I might buy that later. Oh shit, I need to look at what wattage it is. Because it's $20 for the 135 watt, and then for 230, it's for the 230 watt, it's 40 fucking dollars, dude. That's some bullshit. Let's see, 19 volts. So 19.5 volts. How many watts does it need then? I don't fucking know because it doesn't tell me. Son of a bitch. Let's see, so if I click on this one, does it change the compatibility? Oh, okay, so yeah. It's a completely different charger. So that's good. So yeah, I just need to get this charger for 20 bucks. That ain't bad. I can buy that. When would it ship? Free delivery for tomorrow. I'm also planning on getting a mini fridge, which would also ship by tomorrow. The only thing is I need Prime, so I need to get my mom's account since I don't have Prime. I got the Prime free trial for a bit. Um, but obviously that's run out at this point, and I don't want to pay for Prime. It's just an extra expense, and I don't have the money for that shit. But yeah, I'm gonna try getting back into editing and uploading videos and whatnot. If you guys want more of this kind of content where it's just like almost a podcast of sorts, I'd be happy to start doing this. In fact, I'm thinking of also it would be cool to have this as like a podcast. I could get my friends on it and whatnot. It could be cool. But who knows? Maybe I will, maybe I won't. Sorry, I'm editing some stuff right now. So let's download this. Save image as. Can I get. No, okay. I wanted to see if I could also get the dimensions of it before downloading it, but it doesn't seem like that. Okay, so yeah, it's in square dimension, 720 by 720. Cool. Okay. So in that case, open up Canva and I'll just do some editing to make a image. Oh, excuse me. That was disgusting, I'm sure. I had some Blue City Deli because I live in you know, St. Louis. Jesus. Couldn't remember the name of my own city. I'm truly the pinnacle of humanity. Know what? Honestly, it would be funny to have the Know My statue instead of the Thinking Man statue as the thumbnail. I'm thinking of it. Honestly. Honestly. Fuck it. We ball, brother. Instead of we bowling, we balling. I'm sorry. There we go. That's gonna be the image. Perfect image right there. The best image. Uh Rat shoe. Goat man. My image naming skills never cease to amaze me. I'm just the best. I make the perfect image names. For instance, the images that I made for the Discord reactive stuff are called Rat Face and Rat Face Dark. I'm the pinnacle of humanity. Okay. But yeah. I have so much that I work on. Most of it obviously is on me. You know, I don't need to make an AI VTuber. I don't need to make a video game. I don't need to upload videos to a YouTube channel that nobody watches. But I do anyways. And yeah. So that's why I don't upload that frequently. Not to mention, since I have my game development YouTube channel that I upload to, and then I have my Neuron the Stupid channel that I upload to, which for some reason recently has gotten somewhat popular. In fact, when I was streaming a couple days ago, I checked up on the channel and I saw that somebody had found it and was all like, they made two comments. One was cool. I don't understand the integrating with game thing, blah blah, because I uploaded a video about that. And then they had another one called "I love your content," and or not called, but they commented "I love your content," and I was just like, wow, thank you. Yeah, it's so funny how all this has happened. I guess since this is a first podcast video, I could talk about my beginnings as a YouTuber. Technically, I started making YouTube content, I think, in 2011, um, because I was watching YouTubers like Markiplier and PewDiePie and Jacksepticeye doing gaming videos, specifically SCP Containment Breach, and then later on, um, Slender the Eight Pages, and I really liked their videos, and I was all like, I want to do that. I want to play video games and make content for people. Um, Granted, I was in fucking, I would have been in like third, fourth grade, and I just kept on making videos on that channel, which none of those videos exist. Uh, but yeah, I just kept on doing it. I stopped for a little bit, and by a little bit, I mean it was like years that I just did not make any videos for a bit because stuff happened. I haven't talked about this much, but there was one person. I was streaming on Twitch at the time and whatnot. So I was streaming on Twitch. I was making YouTube videos, and at the time I was doing like reaction videos to music because I was big into music. I was writing my own raps. I was making my own beats and shit. And this one person was only like maybe I think 3 years younger than me or something. I was in like I think I was in freshman year of high school, and they were like, no, I was in like fucking eighth grade, and I think they were probably in like sixth, seventh grade, something like that. I don't really remember much, but they were surprisingly young. Uh, and to be fair, an eighth grader hanging out with a sixth grader wouldn't be that out of the ordinary. But this was all virtual and whatnot. I don't even think we lived in the same state or anything. But they were also making raps, and they kind of looked up to me in a way, and shit happened. Shit got real. I found out they were vaping and whatnot, and at the time I was vaping in, and I had a webcam, so I was like openly vaping, and it made me stop making content, and it made me scared of being popular. That's why I have a fear of popularity. I made a video on that, you know, my crippling fear of popularity, um because I think I covered this in that video actually. But yeah, I'm not a person to look up to. I can't be a person to look up to. And so because of that, I don't like when people treat me like a I don't like being treated like a content creator, pretty much. I'm not built for that shit, man. I don't have a big enough ego. By the way, I'm drinking Coca-Cola, not a beer. All right. Don't do underage drinking. Okay. Like, uh, I'm just not I'm not a person to look up to. I don't think I can ever be a person to look up to. I curse a lot, like a lot, and I think sometimes people think I curse just to curse. But for me, it's just part of my vocabulary. It's not like I don't consciously make the effort to say fuck and shit and bitch, you know? It just happens. For instance, there's when I was working at Walmart for a bit, I was having a conversation. I think my like manager or lead or whatever, they were my lead. They were just asking me about what I was doing or something. And at the time I was working on, I think I was compacting the boxes or trash. It was either trash or I was compacting the cardboard boxes. Um, we had this big ass machine, you know. So you'd press a button, or you would have to hold the button down, and like it would literally crush and compact trash and cardboard boxes and whatnot. We had two separate machines. One was for trash, one was for the cardboard boxes. But it would just be these machines, and they would, you know, they were dope. They would compact it down into like a fucking cube. And you don't realize how compacted we would make these things. Like it was probably a good like 100, 200. It was heavy, okay? It probably was more than like 200 pounds. Like it would be enough that if it fell on my foot, I would probably break a foot, you know? If it fell on me, I'd probably be rushed to the hospital with all of my ribs broken, and I'd probably be having like internal bleeding and shit. Like I'd have a lung get punctured. The shit was heavy, bro. It was so heavy that we actually had a like mini forklift that we used to move the compacted boxes around because they were so fucking heavy that the most we could do is just push them out into the back area, and then we would get the forklift to come around and actually position them in the correct areas. Like there was no way even three men could lift one of those compacted cardboard cubes because they were so dense. Anyways, so I was just explaining to him, and I don't even know what I said. I assume I said the word shit. Like I was just going like, "Oh yeah, I'm putting this shit into that." You know? I probably said something like that. And he was just like, "Okay, cool, cool, cool. Uh just be aware, you know, this is professional environment. You shouldn't curse." And I was all like, "Huh?" Like legitimately I paused and I was all like, "Did I say a curse word?" I even stopped and like, "I'm sorry. I didn't even realize I said it. I said a curse word. I'm so sorry about that. I'll you know, uh, try to be more aware of what I'm saying and whatnot." But the fact that I legit said a curse word, like probably said shit or something, and I just didn't even realize it because when I work, at least, you know, now that I do karaoke, I can curse all I want. But when I was working in like more professional areas like Amazon warehouse and Walmart, or I was a ride op at Six Flags for a bit. I was very careful about not cursing. So the fact that I did and I didn't even realize it, that made me realize I curse too goddamn much. If I don't even realize it, like if I can say a curse word and I don't even realize I said it, that's a problem. So yeah, the amount of cursing I do isn't any different from how I actually talk in real life. In fact, I'm surprised I haven't gotten this comment before, but I guess that's because whenever I write my scripts for a video, and to be fair, my videos where I edit and write a script for them, I are the ones those are the videos that tend to perform better than my um edited gameplay videos like the Outer Wilds story mod ones or the grinding Call of Duty, which I actually still need to record and like edit and upload more of those videos, because that is something I want to do as like a series, is just going back to these older Call of Duty games and playing through them and shit. Which, by the way, I still have the Breath of the Wild video. I still have the unedited Breath of the Wild video, and I'm thinking at this point, it's been so fucking long, I'm really contemplating just saying fuck it and uploading the unedited footage. Like I'm lazy, all right? And I'm tired cuz I'm not a social person. So hosting karaoke, it makes me money and I do enjoy it because a lot of the people that I talk to are nice and whatnot. But I'm not a social person. That shit tires me out like there's no tomorrow. I legit sleep for like an entire day after doing one of those shifts, and it's only 4 fucking hours, man. But yeah, I might just start uploading like Outer World Story mod videos where it's just the unedited footage and shit. I don't know. But yeah. So yeah, I want to continue with the grinding Call of Duty stuff because I enjoy it. I want to, continue with the Outer Wild Story mod stuff because I enjoy it. And I have plans for another Can You Beat Outer Wilds video. I just need to actually fucking do it, but I'm scared. Uh, I might as well just say what it is. Uh, I like doing like hints and whatnot. I think it's fun to have people guess what the next video is gonna be. But first off, I'm not popular enough for that shit. Second off, nobody gives a fuck. So the next one that I'm working on at the moment is there's a mod called Ernesto Chase, and pretty much it's that you will be hunted down by a anglerfish, and you can like change a bunch of the parameters and shit. And I just tested it out. I just wanted to see what it would be like. I didn't even make an attempt to beat the game. I just wanted to see how long it would take for that fucker to get me. And I was scared shitless, and it made me realize I'm not built for this. you know? I still want to do it because I think it would be a cool video. But yeah. Oh, that's right. What I was gonna say about something that I'm surprised hasn't been talked about though is I'm surprised people haven't said I got like a black scent or some shit like that. Because I know how I talk. I know how I sound. Uh, when it's just me like this, I'm just talking and shit, and like that's just how I talk. I ain't doing like no. I'm not doing it on purpose. This is how I talk. Um, and I think it's because I grew up uh, listening to rap music, and also just a majority of my friend group has been black. You know, uh, my roommate in college was also black. Like, I don't know. I don't know what to say. I feel like any way I say it, it's gonna sound weird and like semi-racist in a way. Like it's gonna what I mean by racist is it's gonna come off as like the I can't be racist, I have black friends type shit. But like um it's gonna have that same vibe. But like that's just the truth. I like to keep it 100. And yeah, if you ever have an issue with the way I talk, um sorry, that's just I can't help it. I mean, I could. If you wanted me to, I could talk more uppity and shit, use bigger words and whatnot, but like I kind of have the Roman mentality of why use big word when small word work. Like their whole response to I forgot who it was. It was like some king or some shit. or like a leader of some fucking, I don't even remember. I think it was like one of the Greek leaders or some shit was all like, "Hey, bro, I'm a whoop your ass if you keep talking that shit." And like the Romans' reply was like straight up, he was all like, "I'm gonna destroy you if you keep talking shit." Or it was, oh man, what was it? Because their reply was if, like that was their reply was if, and it was fucking insane. If was it? Oh no, that's Romeo, brother. No, it was Rome's. Or no, it wasn't Rome. Was it the Trojans? No, Sparta. That's what I'm thinking of. I have the Spartan way of speaking. Sparta's response to Philip. I believe it was Philip, where they were all like, if. Yeah. So Sparta's response, Philip II of Macedon, was famously terse when asked if he should come as a friend or foe. He simply replied, neither. After Philip threatened them with invasion, the Spartans responded with a single word, if. Because I think it was like, oh god, what was his actual like thing that he said to them? After invading Greece, Philip II sent a threatening message to the Spartans. You are advised to submit without delay, for if I bring my army on your land, I will destroy your farms, slay your people, and raise your city. And the Spartans replied with one word, if, which is insane. As far as I know, they actually did get their asses whooped. But, like, I get it. The Spartans weren't actually that strong. They were strong, don't get me wrong, but they weren't, like, that badass. But I don't give a damn because that one liner is hilarious. You know, like a lot of their one liners, they like the Spartans were the peak of one liners, bro. You can't top that shit. But yeah, I definitely follow the rules of Sparta, where it's just like, why use many word when fewer do same trick? Um, because I definitely am capable of using bigger words if I wanted to. Um, One funny story I always remember is that in sixth grade, uh, we had this like test that we had to do for English, where it was all like it was an English test, and it was to see how many words you know, how big is your vocabulary, and mine lasted. It should have only lasted for like an hour. When I got there and sat down to do the test, I was like, okay, how long is this supposed to take? And she was all like, oh, you'll have it done by lunch. And lunch was like an hour 30 away. So I was like, all right, cool. Lunch rolled around. I wasn't even close. I wasn't even close to done. And I was like firing through this shit, you know? I think what it was is that you were given like, it was either, I don't remember, it was either I was given a description and I was given like multiple choice words and I had to choose which word fit the description, or not the description, but the definition, I mean. So they gave us a definition, I think is what it was. They gave us a definition and then we had to choose the word that fit that definition. Or that was like part of it, I think. I think the first section was for like elementary schoolers because I believe the first section was you were given images and you had to fit the word to the image. And then it moved on to um something else, and then it moved on to the definitions and multiple words. And we got to big words. We got to like defenstration, which means to throw somebody out of a window. Like it is the action of throwing somebody out of a window. And I love using that word because it's hilarious. Like it's funny. I use that threat against my dog all the time, or against my pets as a joke. I would never actually throw them out of a window. But I would always say to my pets, I'd always, like, whenever they were doing something, I'd always go, "You see that window right there? I'm gonna throw you out of it." And instantly, all of my pets, every time, they just go, "Sorry," and they stop. Except for the little shit that's downstairs right now. He just keeps talking back because he got that husky in him. But, nah, I love my pets. I would never actually harm them. They're too adorable. But, yeah, so sometimes now, whenever I remember that the word defenstration exists, sometimes I'll go, "You see that window? I'm gonna defenstrate you, bitch. Keep talking. See what happens." You know? My sister's cat's a bitch. She likes to swipe people's legs whenever they, like, her fucking cat literally sits at the top of the stairs to the basement. And first off, she does it just to pick fights with the other two cats, which one of them is my cat, that bitch. She literally just sits at the top of the stairs. If either of the other two cats wants to go down into the basement or come out of the basement, she just sits there being a Gestapo, just going, "Nah, this is my house. Do something about it." And then she also sits there to swipe at people's legs when they go up or down the stairs. And it's just like, why are you an asshole? There is no reason. There is literally no reason to do that besides just finding enjoyment out of being a dick. Like, my sister's cat is legit just an asshole for no reason. Anyways, so I was walking up the stairs and I see that cat. I see that bitch sitting at the top. And I look at her and I'm like, "Swipe up my legs and I'll punch you through that window right there." I walk up those stairs. She did not swipe at my legs. Once again, I would never actually go through with any of these threats, but they don't know that. Yeah, no, I only ever verbally hurt my animals because it's funny and they don't, I feel like most of the time they don't actually know what I'm saying. I think it's just because I say it in a stern voice that they know it's a threat. They don't know what I'm saying. They just know that I'm threatening them with something. And they don't want to catch the smoke. They don't want to catch these hands, you know? They don't want this smoke. Uh, but yeah, once again, I've never actually physically harmed any of my animals, any of my pets, because they're defenseless, man. I had this thought, uh, like, what's the biggest animal I could beat? And I like to ask it to other people because I have a simple rule. If I can throw that fucker over my shoulder, I can beat it in a fight. All right? If I'm strong enough and that bitch is light enough for me to swing them around, I'm winning. Easy. All three of my sister's cats, because they're technically hers, they live with her and whatnot. I shouldn't say technically. They are indeed hers, even though one of them is technically mine. Uh, but yeah, nah. If I had to fight one of those cats, I'd win. Now, this is where the thing is. If there's more than one of those animals, it depends, but I'm probably losing. If it's anything bigger than, like, I don't know, a dragonfly or some shit, I'm probably dead. If it's like two or more, I'm probably dead. Because while I'm swinging one of them around and throwing them into a wall, the other one's gonna be gnawing at my fucking ankles and shit, and I'm gonna, like, fall to the ground, and then they're just gonna fucking climb on top of me and start eating my throat out and shit, you know? Like, I'm dead. But if it's a one-on-one fight, you know, no weapons, I'm winning. That cat is gonna get swung against a tree 10 times. I'm gonna just keep on swinging against the tree until it stops moving. I'm winning that fight. Small dog, fucking die pooch. You know, I'm winning. But if I can't throw it over my shoulder, I can't swing it around. And therefore, I'm probably losing. For instance, my dog that's downstairs, that dog's big. I can barely lift it, let alone over my shoulder. I'm losing. I'm losing to my dog downstairs. My dog is Arlo. He's a big ass black lab. Technically, he's a mutt. Not technically, he is a mutt. He looks like a black lab, but like he has almost every single dog in him. He has all the dog in him, bro. But yeah, nah. He's gonna jump on me and then bite my throat out, and I'm dead. R.I.P. You know, I'm not winning that fight. Give me a weapon, and I might have a fair chance. But yeah, I can't beat a bear. I can't beat a wolf. Unless it's like a puppy. I could beat like a wolf, uh, pup, probably. As long as the mother doesn't intervene. If the mother intervenes, I'm dead. It don't matter. Lights out. You know, polar bear, I'm dead instantly. It doesn't matter. If I can't escape, I'm dead. That's that. Lights out, bro. And I was thinking, you know, insects. I feel like it would take a lot of insects. Like if I was going against ants, it would take a lot of ants to take me down. It's still doable. And this was my thought process. Can I beat a million ants? Hell fucking no. All right. That's too many ants to keep track of. They will swarm me and I will die. I will get all of, I will like slowly be eaten, you know? Like they're just gonna take the tiniest chunks out of my flesh, and at some point, I'm just gonna die. Hornets, it's probably only gonna take 10. Like it would probably take 10 hornets and I'm dead. I don't really thought about any other insects, but it's like a similar story, you know. There, with enough insects, I am dead. It don't matter. I'm dead. I cannot take on a whole hive. I cannot take on like a fully fledged hive of hornets or bees or anything, because that's too many. I'm dead. And that's if we're talking no protection. Like I'm naked, you know, and I have no weapons and shit. I'm just fighting with my bare hands. I'm dead. If it's a one-on-one, that hornet is breakfast, motherfucker. I'm gonna grab it out of thin air and I'm gonna pop it in my mouth, eat that bitch. Flies, on the other hand, I could win. It would just take time because they don't really attack. I don't think they could ever do damage to me, you know? Like there's like a couple insects that like they can't do shit to you, so I'd win. It doesn't matter the numbers. It just matters about the amount of time I got. To be fair, actually, I guess like if for some reason the flies, knowing that they couldn't injure me, decided and just like started flying into my mouth and ears and shit, I'd die. They wouldn't even have to kill me then. I would kill myself. Fuck that shit. Dude, one fly gets into my ear, I'm killing myself, bro. Like honestly, one of my worst fears is probably having an insect in my ear. You have no idea how many dreams I've had where it's like there's just a single fly and it just flies into my ear. And I'm like clawing at my ear to try and get it out. That's like legit my worst fear. But at the same time, I'm fucking Mr. Miyagi when it comes to these flies. No joke, there was one time when I was in high school, I was living with my mom. My parents are divorced. They've been divorced. Don't worry, it's been a long time. I've had time to recover. That reminds me of, oh my god, me and my dad were talking, and I think he brought up like he has this thing that he does where he starts a sentence and then pauses to think before finishing it because he's like trying to think of the correct way to finish it or something. And so he starts his sentence And he's all like, you know what? I forgot the conversation we were having before, but it was about me lying. I believe. I believe I was talking about how I used to be like a really bad liar, and he knew this. He knows this. I used to be a chronic liar. I legit like it was a problem. Uh, I've worked past it. I don't do it anymore. But there was a time in my life where almost everything that came out of my mouth was a lie of some sort. Even when I told the truth, I was lying to an extent. But yeah, so we were talking about that. And then it transitioned to him saying, you know what? I think that's why, because I think part of like when I was talking about lying, we also were talking about like arguments and debates and whatnot. And I like debates. I like debating people. Um, I like to argue and whatnot. I don't care if I'm right or wrong, but just like having that conversation, and finding out that I'm wrong and going like, "All right, cool." I like to I just like to know, I like learning. Um so I always like hearing new perspectives because even if it doesn't necessarily completely change my whole worldview, it might make me reconsider some of my thoughts on things. And it might not change what I believe in, but it might change like the way I think something should be done, I guess. Like I think debate is always healthy no matter what. Even if you are 100% correct in your stance, just hearing another person's thought can always be helpful, you know? Uh so yeah, we were just talking about that type shit. And then he just says, that's why I think that's part of I think that's the reason why uh your mom and I got a divorce. And because we had been talking about me lying, I just stopped and went, "Me lying?" And he went, "No, no, 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 no. Just because we kept on getting into arguments and I never backed down." That's true. They always got into debates and arguments and whatnot. And my mom and my dad are both very passionate people when it comes to their viewpoints. But my mom has a harder time admitting when she's wrong. Um, and I would agree with my dad that that's probably the reason, or it's a very, very big reason for why they divorced. But it was still really funny because we both then laughed really hard, and I was like, yeah, it would have been really fucked up if you just out of the blue went, yeah, I think the reason me and your mom got divorced was because of you. Like goddamn, fucking okay. Because I know that is a common thing for people to think that, oh, yeah, the reason my parents fight, the reason my parents got divorced is because of me. And I would say, in some respects, those people aren't wrong in believing that or thinking that, because I would say that, technically speaking, I was a reason for the divorce happening because my parents disagreed on how to raise me. That doesn't mean it was my fault because they were going to get into arguments no matter what. They just had different opinions on things. Um, but it technically wouldn't be wrong to say that, yes, I was part of the reason they got divorced. In the same way, my sister was probably also part of the reason they got divorced. They just thought differently. And I think that's the same case for a lot of children, a lot of people, is that their parents got divorced because of differing opinions, and those opinions also involved raising the way of raising their children and whatnot. Damn, this just got depressing real fast. I did not mean to do that. Anyways, it's an hour and 9 minutes. I think I'll. If I have anything more to say, I'm just gonna stop it here before I go on for another 5 hours of just talking and shit. But yeah, once again, if you guys want to see more of this kind of stuff, like podcast esque, me just talking, uh, just say so. This is much easier than trying to upload videos, to be fair, since I'm planning on not editing this shit. Ugh. But yeah, uh, I already created a podcast thing because that's something you can do in YouTube is you can create like a podcast now. Uh, so yeah, I created it. Obviously, you guys will see the podcast most likely. Um, so yeah, I'll just like if you know people want to see more of this, I'll just keep that podcast up and keep making these kinds of videos every now and then, maybe like once a month or something. You know. Anyways, see you guys in the next one. Peace.